Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. And in Pootles Advent Countdown, we're on to number 9. And I have got a Christmas card for you today. It's the Bright Baubles card. And I just love this set. I think it's just really lovely and proper retro baubles, aren't they? Just brilliant. And thank you, Stampin' Up, for calling them baubles. My understanding is that that's not a word. You guys in the States call them ornaments. We Brits call them baubles. If you are another country that calls these kind of decorations that you hang on your tree baubles, let me know. I'd love to hear who else calls them that. But it just made me really happy. I was like, yay! It's a stamp set for us. Please just, get with the Father Christmas thing. Right, to make this card. So this was done with Blushing Bride and then colours on the front. And I'm going to talk to you about the colours in a second. But the way I measure up my cards is I simply cut a sheet of cardstock in half and then score it in half. I don't know why I just extended that. I don't need to. Cut it in half and score it in half. And then depending on how I want to layer my card is to, how much of the background colour I want to show is, dependent on what's going on. So I want my black piece of cardstock to be 2 centimetres shorter and narrower than this piece of cardstock folded in half. So you could, if you are, if you work in inches, you might want to make yours 3/4 of an inch shorter and narrower, something like that. You'll know it will feel right for you. And what that's going to do, that's going to give me a bigger border than that. Oh well, doesn't matter. Oh no, it's not. Maybe not. Yes, it is. Oh well, doesn't matter. You'll get to know what works for you. And then for my white layer that I'm going to stamp on, that is going to be a further 0.5 centimetre shorter and narrower than the black layer. And again, if you work in Imperial, maybe 1/8 of an inch, just as long as whatever it is you adopt, 1, 2, I'm just counting, whatever you adopt, you keep and you repeat. See, I've done that wrong. Let's just get that right. Let's try that again. Too busy chatting, not enough thinking, concentrating. 1, 2.5. Yeah, okay. Let's try that again. There we go. So that's given me my equal border all the way around, and I've got that beautiful flirty flamingo on show. Okay, so where's my bright baubles? Here we go. I'm going to, shall I do this one? Given that I cut that narrower than expected. No, it will still fit, but I think I want to use this bigger one again. Okay, big old block. This one. I'm going to use the centre of my grid paper to line up as best as I can. And then I want my memento, because for this I'm going to use blends. And I'm just going to semi-eyeball to get that in place. And then I showed this trick the other day. When you've got a big block, pull your sleeve over your hand. Oh! Okay, let's use the emergency spare side. I thought I tipped it when I put my hand on it. Yeah, if you just to get a smooth rub, I guess. Fabric helps. Let's try and not tip this. Look, I've tipped it again. Oh well, that's fine. That's good enough. It's good enough for me. So that's probably what I should have cut first, but there we go. Right, so what I want to do is I want to use blends. So I'm going to pull in a spare bit of card while I give that an opportunity to dry, and I'm going to come down and bring the blends that I plan to use are the Magenta Madness pair. There's one, there's another, and then the Flirty Flamingo pair, And I pulled out Polished Pink. Now, blends, obviously by their name, blend in with one another. So there's my light, there's my dark. And when you mix the two, you get the lovely blend in the middle. And when that dries down, you get this super gradient. But what you can also do is simply use them as colouring pens, and you don't get those horrible lines. Now, don't know about you, but any of you who was maybe the barrel pen generation in school, we would do our colouring in and you'd end up with lines. I don't know if I have a pen here that would replicate that. Probably. If I bring in Magenta Madness in just a marker, you get lines. And actually, to be fair, our ink is good enough that you don't really get that, but you would get those lines. And if you got bored colouring in that direction and then you suddenly started going like that, you could see it. And so what blends do is they take that out, and I call them self-leveling ink because they all go to the same level and they just settle there. And I love that. I just think that is such a brilliant thing. And obviously, yes, you can blend your colours out. I haven't on this one, even though I probably could have done on the centre, but you know, I didn't. But I do like blends for just really nice colouring in. I love to say that, colouring in. Okay, what I might do is I might do a little bit of gradient work on this, because after all, these were proper retro baubles, aren't they? Which colour have I got? Oh, I've got Polished Pink on this one. And just go in the rough direction of where it would have been. And then over the top with the lighter shade. And what I do is I sort of start in the centre and build out. Just keep moving out. And that's going to give me a nice depth of colour. And then I just want to come around the edge. Oops, went over the line. Oopsie daisy. Built up a bit more colour in the centre of that. Probably should have let my ink dry a little longer, but that's okay. I'm just showing you a technique. And that is how you do a blends colour. But essentially what I've got here with 3 sets of pens is I've got 6 colours of pen. Oh, definitely should have let it dry. Probably also shouldn't have inked on when I'd gone on the back. Colour 1. And yeah, just use them as colouring pens. Colour 2. I'll stick in a bright one of these in the middle to knock over the bit where I went over the lines. That's a glorious colour, Dark Magenta Madness. Ooh, that's very nice. Let me show you that. How lush is that? Ooh. I have another one here. Oh, gosh, that's lovely. I think I've forgotten to remember that I have Magenta Madness because I've got Polished Pink. That's glorious, isn't it? And then we could bring in this one here. And so what you get are really rich, smooth colours. And you can see the difference between where I've done the blending in there versus these solid, rich blocks of colour. So blends are not just for blending. And I know from having spoken to many of you in the past, I'm looking for my seal. Oh, it's over here. I've spoken to many of you in the past and you've said, I'm nervous to use them, I'm scared, what if I do make it wrong? Firstly, never be worried, never be scared, because it's just paper and ink, and you can have another go another time. But actually, maybe start off by just doing colouring in first, and worry about the blend bit after, because that, I just think that's lovely. I will finish it off because, you know, Wink of Stella. I love Wink of Stella, and just layer that over the top because, again, sort of, you know, a nod to those those baubles of the 70s and 80s. And do you know what? If you still have them on your tree, please let me see them. I'd absolutely love to see them when you put your tree up, or an old picture. They were always very, very glittery too. So a little bit of glitter that you can't see because it's possibly shining. But yeah, I just think, don't be scared of blends, use them in a different way. And then, yeah, when you've got used to this, add a little bit. I don't remember which one I used there. Which was it, light or dark? Light on this one. And then, yeah, come in with a little bit of dark over the top. That's probably the wrong colour. Which one did I pick up? No, that's the right one. And just blend. Blend it down. A little bit more dark on there. A little bit more light over the top. And just play and just, yeah, have a bash and see what you can do. Like I say, don't think that blends markers are just for blending. Mostly they're just for having fun. Anyway, I hope you find that useful. Glorious Christmas cards, totally the wrong colours, but who says there's the right colours for Christmas? Go with what you want. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me. Hope to speak to you very soon. Bye.